I don't work here, lady. Story 1. You work for a different company. Check me out anyway. Car stop, take a wild guess. Me, CG, chip guy AM, awesome manager, happens to be black. This is important later. Context. I work as a merchandiser for a company contracted to handle a very popular US soda brand, as well as some energy drinks and canned coffees. For those who don't know, for certain high-selling items, stores, usually grocery stores, but not always, have a hard time keeping up with keeping shelves and displays full, so they contract merchandisers to come and do it for them. Plus, since merchandisers have a more specific set of items to handle, they have more time to make these high-traffic areas look nice. Us merchandisers do not work for the store, though we take some direction from the managers. We wear different uniforms, in my case, and t-shirt with the name of our flagship soda, and, most importantly, do not have access to any of the store systems. I 100% understand why many people think we work for the store. That isn't what this is about. If a customer asks me a question I can answer, or help that I can provide, I will help them. If I can't help them, I will explain that I work for a different company and they will have to talk to a store associate. If they are polite or business is slow, I'll help them find one. Most customers take this explanation graciously and apologize before getting help from someone who can help them. This story is about one of the people who can recognize that. Story. It was toward the start of my day, about 6:30 a.m. The store opened about the time I got there, and the only customers were a couple of early birds getting a start to their day and night shifters grabbing groceries on their way home. Very few people needed carts. Only one register was open, with a small line. I was working on restocking the cooler at the register next to the open one. Out of the corner of my eye, I see CG. CG was a middle-aged guy with a cart full of chips. This detail isn't important to the story, but it explains the name I gave him. CG walks up to me. CG, I am in a hurry. I need you to open up another register. Oh, looks a line of two people at the open register. I am sorry, but I work for soda company, not store. The cashier available is very good at her job and will be through the line shortly. CG, I don't have time for that. I need to check out now. Your precious sodas can wait 30 seconds. Oh, I am sorry sir, but I work for company. I do not have access to the registers. I can't help you, but she gestures to cashier, who had moved on to the next customer *can. CG, dumb B ***. Haven't you learned by now that the customer was always right? Open that register now, or I will get you fired. Oh, as I said, I am not store employee. I do not have access to the computer to check you out. The next register is open, points to other customer packing their things and leaving, and she can help you. CG, are you dumb, USD? I asked you. It is a stupid computer. You push a couple buttons and take my money. A beetle could do your job better than you. This is the reason this country is **T. All you young people are too busy doing drugs, getting piercings, and having sex with whoever you want, and you won't even learn to use the D*** computers you insist are so important. Just for the record, I don't wear any piercings, nor did I indicate my sexual preference in any way. I also am about to graduate in cybersecurity, but I didn't bring that up for fear that he would want me to break into the computer. I saw AM coming up. AM is a great manager and I knew he would back me up. The only reason I hadn't already called for him to back me up is that he usually didn't get in until 7, along with the other managers. He happened to come in early today. In fact, he was still wearing his coat and bag, indicating he hadn't been to his office yet. AM, may I help you? CG, you need to fire this dumb B ***. She is refusing to do her D *** job and check me out. AM, sir, that language is highly inappropriate. She works for company. She is not wearing a store uniform. She doesn't need to put up with your bulls ***, but she has, because she is a good person. If she decided she wanted to work for store instead, I would hire her in a heartbeat. You have exactly one chance to apologize to off and check out at the other register. If you don't like that option, you are welcome to get out and get your chips at another store. CG, you dumber. UN **** are the same. You probably only let this B **** stay here because she has sex with you in your office. I am a friend of former store owner, and I will have both your A **** fired. AM, funny, I didn't see you at former owner's funeral. He sold the company years ago when he started having health problems. He hasn't had a say in how this store is run since then, but he is one of the best people I have known. There is no way he would have stood for this. You have cussed out me and op. You have exactly 3 seconds to leave before I call the cops. CG stood there for a second, then actually left once AM got on the phone with the cops. Unfortunately for him, he left with his cart, so AM still got the cops to go after him for theft. Edit because people are asking the same couple questions. The cops arrived after the guy left, with AM, being a legend, got a picture of his license plate. The cops came and got our statements and found out that the car was registered too. After the cops left, the store did an inventory of their small electronics section, the only really valuable stuff in the store, because a dude freaking out over chips and running off with the cart is super suspicious. They found that a pair of expensive headphones was missing from the case. Their best guess is that he managed to grab the headphones somehow and buried them in the chip cart, hoping that whoever checked him out would be in too much of a hurry to notice the headphones. I had to leave not long after they came to this conclusion, so that is all I know for now. I may have an update when I get into work tomorrow. Edit number 2. Update: the police caught the guy last night. AM stopped by the police station to identify him in a lineup. The missing headphones were still in his car, along with all the chips. I said I would testify as a witness if they needed, but I probably won't have to. Story 2. Apparently even a broken foot doesn't stop you from standing at work all day. So this happened a few years ago after I broke my foot. I was at TJ Maxx wobbling around the store in one of those special boots you wear when break your foot. I was looking at some shirts when an older lady came up to me and asked where the socks are. I said I don't know. She snapped back in a condescending tone, "You don't know? How do you not know?" and walked off. I was confused to say the least. When I got up to the register, the cashier said this woman told that the worker with a big boot was rude and unhelpful. The cashier said she told the women that I don't work here. The woman just replied, "Oh." Story 3. An infant works in a shop. I went to the range recently with my mum, sister, and 1-year-old nephew. They wanted some of that tablecloth that they cut to size. There was no one at the cutting desk, so my mum went to the front desk while my sister and nephew hovered by the cutting desk, and I got what I wanted. I went back to my sister and nephew and saw this man out the corner of my eye, and he mutters something under his breath. We pay no attention to him, thinking he's just talking to himself. I picked my nephew up and gave him a cuddle. We then hear the man shout, "I guess I'll have to go and get the manager over to get someone to help me then." We glance over and see he's unloaded all of his shopping out on the cutting desk and is talking to us. Confused, we tell him likely yes, they seem rather understaffed today. He stood there confused and just said, "Well, you're useless, I'll go get him myself." We pointed out the tills and said, "They're over there, we don't work here." Mum returned with someone who worked there to cut the tablecloth. While they're cutting, a manager comes over and whispers something to the person helping us, and she responds with a confused look on her face, and we just heard her say she hadn't spoken to anyone besides us. We asked if it was about the crazy guy, they confirmed it was, so we told them what had happened. Nothing more was said about it. We paid for our stuff, got overcharged as usual because that's what the range does. Story 4. Do I work here or not? This one is kind of different. I was working at Blockbuster as an assistant manager while I was going to school. I would go to classes during the day and work the closing shift. I'm not sure if it was a company or district policy, but they wanted the manager and assistant managers to work a variety of shifts, with each one working at least one opening and one closing shift per week. I had no problem with that, but let the manager know that because of my class schedule, I would only be able to open on the weekend. He was fine with that because no one really wants to open on the weekend anyway. I had been there for about 6 months when we had a manager change. I explained to the new manager about my school schedule and the arrangement with the previous manager. The new manager didn't like that arrangement and wanted his assistant managers to have more flexibility. I told her I understood, but I wasn't going to give up school for this job and gave my 2-week notice. I rarely saw the new manager because she opened on the days that I closed. I worked my normal schedule for the next 2 weeks. A few days before my last day, I looked at the next week's schedule and I was scheduled for my normal schedule. I enjoyed the job, I got paid a little over minimum wage to talk to people about movies, and it fit my school schedule. The only reason I was leaving was because the new manager wanted me to be more flexible. I thought that maybe the new manager had changed her mind and was willing to be more flexible. Since I had given my notice, I could have left my uniform on the manager's desk and dropped my key in the return box after locking up the store. But since I enjoyed the job and the schedule one was scheduled fit my schedule, I decided to continue working. The next week, I was still on the schedule. I kept working and I kept getting paid. This happened for about 6 weeks. Then I went in to open the store on a Sunday after being off the previous day. I opened the door and went to turn off the alarm. The alarm said I entered the incorrect code. So I entered it again, same result. After the third attempt, the alarm started going off and the police were automatically dispatched. I went out front and to get away from the wailing sirens and to wait for the police to arrive. When the police arrived, I explained the situation and showed them my lanyard and showed them that I had the key to the store. I told the officer, "I do work here, lady." The officer wanted to talk to the manager, but since I had only met her the one time, I didn't have her number with me, but I explained to the officer where the schedule book was and that it had everyone's number in it. She went in and got the book and called the store manager. I could tell the officer was looking concerned as she was talking to the manager. After she got off the phone, she asked me if I wanted to change my story. I said no, that I was just there on my normal shift to open the store. The officer told me that the manager was on her way down, but informed the officer that I used to work there but quit about 6 weeks ago. I nervously laughed and explained the ordeal to the officer. I could tell she didn't believe me until I suggested she look at the schedule. She even commented that I was scheduled for 4 days the upcoming week. The manager finally arrived and talked to the officer. While they were talking, I took off my polo shirt and handed it to manager along with my lanyard and the keys to the store. The manager then looked flabbergasted and asked me who was going to close the store next week. The officer and I looked even more flabbergasted, looked at each other, and I replied, "Not me, I don't work here, lady." Story 5. This made me feel good even though I don't work there. My husband and I were shopping at Walmart a couple of days ago and were heading toward the home goods area when I heard a couple getting frustrated, by the tones of their voices, a couple of aisles away. I told my husband I'd be right back, and went over to ask them what was wrong. They were looking for folder tabs to put into folders in order to mark different sections. Now, I keep a database of seeds because I collect packets of seeds the way some people collect baseball cards. Yeah, I'm a botany geek, so I knew right where those were. So I told them, hey, I know where that is, you're in the wrong area, it's in with paper, folders, and stationery and office supplies, follow me. So I lead him right to where it was. Hey, the guy said, hey, they need more employees like you, helping people on your day off. I couldn't help but laugh and I told him, sorry, I don't work here, I just happen to know where a lot of the stuff is around here. He and the lady he was with also laughed and then the guy said, well you should be, you're at least helpful. They asked me where a few other things were for office supplies, and then where the women's clothing was. They apparently had everything else. No biggie, like I said, I know where everything is there, they don't change the store around much. I was glad to help. I don't work there, but it still felt good to be useful. All in all, it was a great day. Thank you for watching.